Welcome to We Top 10. Coming in at no. 10 we have the real Pennywise. Scary and most dangerous criminals to ever exist. But this still doesn't change. I'm pretty sure of this. Next up is Lobster Boy. That's common in his family. He went into the could do thanks to his hands. Performer but as he. And drank way too much which caused him to turn evil. Two of which had hands like he. The odd hands grew up and got married. He became jealous. He went to prison. He then began to say he would do his wife as she got remarried when he was locked up. So she paid another carnival worker. Nobody came to his funeral. Was just his name. Well, those hands just. Next up is Eyeball Man. One of the scariest. But he's also men on this planet. In 2012 he, for shooting a cop in a bathroom argument. Now that's bad. Him meet your attention. Him all this. The scary tattoos he had all over his face. And has over 20 just on his face. The only face he has tattoos. Eyeball Witches. Eyeball Man. And he is one. From his Facebook. See, this guy has tattoos. Entire body. Not only that, he's got a giant on the top of his head, so maybe he Skull Man instead. This guy looks so committed a crime. I think he'd still make this list. But perhaps this. Coming up next is this guy's nickname is it's a parody of Jack. The lives of hundreds of women in England. Many years ago, guys from Rostov. His real name is and he took the lives of over 52 women and children. He was a suspect in many crimes and was in and out of jail. Enough evidence too. Anything serious. Finally, after a police snare and confessed to taking 36 people's lives. But this was found to be Anne, and he was convicted of doing this to 52. However, it seems him to get some karma, his life as a punishment. Fun of anyone's appearances here. Guy looks seriously creepy as well. Bond villain, don't you think? Next up is Monster. Now there's a that's because a movie was made about her. Won many awards for playing her in the movie Monster. And she's one of the only women on this list. Ladies, this is a good thing as she is awful. She took the lives of 7. She unfortunately did have a pretty rough childhood. Seriously angry when her crimes came to light in 1991 and confessed to everything for days later. She remained in jail for about 11 more years. In court she was acting crazy. All the jurors. The reason she got such a harsh. She showed absolutely no remorse. Next up is game show contestant. Men ever, but one of the creepiest. And he took the lives of 5 women in the 1970s. Admitted to doing this 34 more times. Believe he's done this more than 140 times across. But the creepy thing about this, for his appearing on a game show called And Believe It or, he was introduced by, which is creepy, his victims. Him by saying this, the woman would, which guy was, according to one of the women, question said, what's night is the only time there is really get good answers to questions I won't even get into. She said he, out with despite. Talk about good judgment. You quite literally dodged a bullet. Next up is Underwear Strangler. Yeah, as you guy's name he is. This guy's real name is, but he went to SH Jack. And ever since, out of jail. And things like that. For the worse. A woman with. He then did this to around 40 more women. Photographer, LA where he got caught. Who were mainly models too. But then later went on to do it for more times. LAPD stop. The best to go out with. But the creepy thing about this. For magazines. And people didn't even know it. He replies nighttime because your favorite columnist doing something like this really freaked me out. And even after he went to jail he was in prison, but then chose to take his. I guess that's karma for you. Next up is Human Plate.